So with that, we will move into business session. I guess I apologize. Policy board had review of non-compliance findings. There aren't any, so that will not be part of our business session today, as I always say, luckily. So I will look to approval of the agenda for business session. Are there any additions that folks need to make for our business session? Not seeing any. I'll consider agenda approved, and approval of the proceedings from the October 2024 meeting. And any concerns with the proceedings from that meeting? That's good, because I was going to say I thought that was the one that put us in place here, but no, that was the one before that. Okay, is there any public comment to come before business session? Not seeing any. Okay, we will move on to consider Amendment 4 to the Interstate Fishery Management Plan for Northern Shrimp for final approval. So this is a final action, and I will go to Doug Grout.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And do we have one slide you can put up there? So our northern shrimp fishery is the poster child for impacts from warming ocean temperatures on our resources and the impact on our fishery. And we've been in a place since 2014 where we've had a moratorium in place on fishing there since 2015 because abundance, biomass, and recruitment have been at by far the lowest levels we've ever seen. But our fisheries management plan said that we had to come together every year to set or not set a season. So we've been meeting every year to keep the moratorium in place. So we decided to start moving forward on developing Amendment 4, which would give us the ability to set a moratorium for a longer period of time. And this particular addendum, we decided that we could set it for up to 5 years. It doesn't mean it's going to be 5 years, but up to 5 years at a time. And we also added language in there that had some triggers for what happens if we see some improvements. You know, we start seeing recruitment again that may potentially be enough to start considering a fishery, or we're seeing temperatures, because this is the key thing with northern shrimp. If you have cold bottom temperatures, you get good recruitment. But there's also temperature triggers in there that would force the board to come back and consider implementing a full-blown stock assessment, or potentially having another winter research set aside fishery to go out and have the commercial fishermen check on these things. So we implemented that. We also, of course, we can always call a meeting at any time. Any board member can call a meeting at any time to consider maybe changing the whatever our moratorium period is. And to be able to do that, the other thing that we put in here, because our fishery had changed, is we changed one of our objectives to more reflect the status of the resource right now and what we were trying to accomplish. And then finally, we changed some of the adaptive management within our plan to allow the section more flexibility in the future to change measures through an addendum rather than an amendment. So with that, if you have any questions about that, I'll take any questions. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Doug, thanks. So you had some research fishing this year, I think I read somewhere.
Yes, we had.
How did that go? If you don't mind my asking. Yeah.
We had, what was it, 25-ton?
Yeah.
Research set aside. We caught 57 individuals of northern shrimp between all the trappers and the boats that went out trawling. Any other questions?
And no depressing ones, please, Jeff.
Well, I was actually hoping that just to give Chelsea an idea of the character or the shrimp that she was helping us manage, that maybe they'd save one or two of them so that she could cook them up just to see how good they taste, because they are delicious. So, yeah, I'm very disappointed this happened at this fishery, but that's my taste buds speaking. If there are no other questions, I have a motion to put up. On behalf of the Northern Shrimp Section, I move the commission approve Amendment 4 to the Interstate Fisheries Management Plan for Northern Shrimp as amended by the section.
Thank you, Doug, and thank you for reading the motion into the record. This is a motion from the section that does not need a second, but I will look around the room. Is there any discussion on the motion? Megan Ware.
Thanks. So Maine voted no on this amendment, and I think anytime a state votes no on an amendment, it's important to explain why, particularly when it's just 3 states that sit on the section. So Doug did a great job outlining the 2 major issues were the length of the moratorium and the triggers. Maine was at a up to 3-year moratorium length. Mass and New Hampshire were at up to 5. We voted it out as we do. There was a motion for the middle at 4. Up to 4 years. That did not receive a second. And then for the triggers, Maine had some concerns about the triggers and their complexity. Mass and New Hampshire were in favor of the triggers. Again, we voted it out. The motion to not include triggers did not receive a second. So given those were the 2 major issues, Maine voted no on the amendment. We're not trying to be a stick in the mud here. It's obviously pretty hard to compromise on triggers. You either do them or you do not. Would have been great to see some compromise on the moratorium length, but here we are. So thank you.
Thank you to the award-winning Megan Ware. So this is final action. I apologize. I was briefly sidebarring with Tony on do we need roll call or could we just get hands for any objections to the motion? And we can do this by noting if there are any objections to this motion. So that is the question before you right now. Any objections to this motion? We see that Maine, and that looks like that is it. Okay, so this motion is going to pass with 1 no vote. Sorry, 1 objection. Okay, so with all other states approving this motion. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's all we have. We don't have any other business before us tonight, so I will look for a motion to adjourn. John Clark, Cherie Patterson, seconds. Cherie Patterson's last meeting here. I think we need one last round of applause for all Cherie has done for us. Okay, bittersweet. Thank you, everyone.